I'm Kenny.
I'm Debbie.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Lamar.
I'm Nikki.
And I'm Caleb.
Hello, my name is Lindsey Bailey, and today I'd like to inform you about a new trial for a form of cancer treatment. Back in the 80s, the United States was crippled by a disease that no one had any idea about. That disease was HIV. Today, it is now being used as a form of cancer treatment. Now, this may come to a shock to many of you, but I promise by the end of this speech you will have a much better understanding. Before I begin, I want to tell you all that I have done countless hours of research and have watched many videos over this trial. I even watched an hour-long question and answer series with the doctor behind it. I say this to you because I want you to understand that what I'm telling you is not science fiction, but it's fact. So throughout this speech, I'm going to talk about three things. First, the trial itself. Second, why HIV is the perfect virus to cure cancer. And lastly, I'm going to talk to you about what is going on with the trial today. So to begin, I want to talk about the trial. The trial was started by Dr. Carl H. June. He is a specialist in T-cell biology and lymphocyte activation at the Prelim School of Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. This trial was started 7 years ago, back in 2010. Dr. June is searching for a way to treat patients uniquely because each cancer is unique. So the whole purpose is to create a treatment that is unique to the patient in hopes that bone marrow transplants can be stopped. In fact, the whole purpose is to start of this trial is to replace transplants with BART19 or CLO19, the modified HIV. The first round of this trial was very small and only saw 14 patients. It specifically treats leukemia as of right now. And it does this by taking millions of the patient's T cells out of their body, injecting it into the modified HIV, and putting it back into the patient's body. This allows the T cells to attack the B cells, and the B cells are what cause malignancy during leukemia. So why is HIV so important to this trial? Let me explain. It's important because of how HIV works. When it enters the body, it is only one cell. It cannot multiply by itself. So as soon as it enters, it begins looking for a host cell. Once it has found its host cell, it binds to it, and it injects its own genetic makeup. It completely destroys the cell's genetic makeup and replaces it, and it causes that cell to send out other HIV cells. And they then go and attack other host cells, and that is why HIV is such a deadly process. So Dr. June wanted to focus on how it was fast-acting and how it can destroy cells. So to do this, he had to disable the part of the HIV virus that is harmful to the body, but he left its attack mechanism. So when you inject the T cells that are a form of white blood cells, they can attack B cells directly. This is a more direct approach than other cancer treatments. This trial has been very successful because of its success rates, and it is now one step closer to FDA approval. Many of the patients have been in remission for more than 5 years. Now I want you to stop and think about that. The trial was only started 7 years ago, so that means that many of the patients either went into remission and have stayed in remission right after they received their treatment or shortly after. The trial is also now focused on treating children. Within this trial, they've treated over 40 children and have had a 90% success rate. And this is important because leukemia is the most common cancer in pediatric patients. So what is going on today? Well, actually, as of this week, on July 12th, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and Oncogenic Drug Committee did a preliminary hearing over the approval of this drug. And with both committees, it was unanimously approved. That means that the trial will now go on to seek real FDA approval and hopefully will be a treatment accessible to people all over the United States. So to recap, I want you to know that I talked to you about the trial, why HIV is so important in it, and its success rates. The modified HIV is the future of medicine. It shows how it is constantly moving and growing. In the 80s, people feared HIV, and today it is used to kill another deadly disease.